Orgasmic enlightenment, where the sexual and spiritual come together. I'm Kim Anami, and I'm a holistic sex and relationship coach and a vaginal weightlifter. In this show, we explore all things intimate. I believe that our sexual energy is life force, creative energy, and we can use it to shape our worlds, strengthen our relationships, and self-actualize. I blend the most avant-garde information from neuroscience, ancient sexual practices like Tantra and Taoism, to renegade wellness modalities to show you how to create gourmet sex in your lives. Come one, come all. Divorce court to 4-hour sex dates. In today's episode, we interview a couple who have had the most dramatic and fastest turnaround I have ever seen. They were in a beyond sexless marriage. They were intimate 2 or 3 times a year. And in the span of a few hours, they made the decision not to divorce and instead came home and had sex for 4 solid hours in front of the mirror in their home office. They did a massive 180 and they have been full speed ahead ever since. It's never too late. If it's possible for them, it is possible for you too. 2 things that made all the difference for them to bring their relationship back from the dead are 1, the concept of fuck yes, and 2, letting their guards down. I always say the only acceptable answer to any invitation in your relationship is fuck yes. Do you want to go to this Tantra workshop with me? Fuck yes. You want to have a 3-hour sex date each week? Fuck yes. Do you want to talk it out and fuck it out and talk it out and fuck it out some more? Fuck yes. That's it. Anything other than fuck yes is a no. I'm busy. Oh, we're tired. We don't have time. Maybe later. But they all mean no. The only way you will ever reach hallowed ground in your relationship and all of the magical superpower couple things I speak of and our well-fucked all-stars speak of is through the power and commitment of fuck yes. It is the key that opens every door. Even the slightest hesitation will pull you back and keep you from reaching these wild, transformative, and magical places. It's fuck yes or bust. The other key is surrender. Opening up, dropping your guard, relinquishing your armor. Gordon and Kate, who we will meet shortly, had been together for 20 years. He is 64 and she is 56. With decades of baggage, most people have to fight their way through the layers of mistrust, resentment, and history to recreate their relationships. It's a process, but these 2 literally did that in hours. And look, it's not like they wiped everything out and all of their work is done, but to get to this immediate point of jumping off with a fuck yes in their hearts and genitals is miraculous. And now, in that state, with those 2 tools, they can do everything. They are unstoppable. Well fucked all-stars! All right, Gordon and Kate, it's lovely to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a real blessing. Real blessing seeing you gather in and having a dialogue and just great. Yeah.
So you are coming to us live from Australia in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you have quite a dramatic turnaround, which I love and I think will be inspiring for a lot of people. You've been married for 23 years, might be 24 by now since you wrote this.
Yeah, we were 24, yes.
24
This month.
years, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And you
Thank you.
said that on your 20th wedding anniversary, you were heading to divorce court. So
Yeah,
tell us
definitely.
about where you were and then what turned around and obviously where you are now.
We were very religious and for those 20 years, 10 plus of those years that Kim was a dead bedroom.
How dead? When you
That,
say dead, what do you mean by dead?
Very little sex.
very little sex,
Maybe twice or three times a year.
Holy shit. Okay. Dead,
yeah,
dead and
yeah,
gone, dead and buried.
yeah, dead and gone.
Yeah.
And what did you think about that? So 2 or 3 times a year, like how did you then classify that in your minds about what that meant and what your relationship was? Like what was going on for you?
I thought because sex wasn't great anyway for me. So I mean, Gordon was what?
2 punch up.
Yeah.
Really was.
So I was constantly disappointed and frustrated. And so I thought, well, I can do without sex. It's nothing fantastic. So I'm not really missing much.
And for me, I just felt like a real failure because I couldn't go past that 2 minute mark. Oh my goodness. And as a result of that, we were just like flatmates
In the end.
in the end. But did you know my cock lost an inch in length through not using an inch? Can you believe that?
I
I was
can.
shocked.
Use
And
it or
also too,
lose
like
it.
and by when I lost that inch, it even changed the shape of my cock. The head, it just wasn't as full as what it normally was. And because I'm 6 foot tall and my length of my penis was 6 inch by six inch girth, which is a lot wider girth than average. And it turned to 5 and still got the 6 inch girth at the tip of it, but it was 6 inch all the way through, and 6 inch, and then halfway just start to round in a bit. That's what it's like now. But ever since doing the SMM, doing the cock exercises, the lengthening, it feels more fuller. It feels like the blood's there, and when you kind of squeeze, it just feels fuller. It looks, it's getting there. Anyway, yeah, we were just frustrated, I guess, really. And
I didn't even like Gordon towards the end. I didn't want. We went. He didn't know, but I was well aware of how long it had been since we'd had sex, and it was 18 months and 6 days before we'd gone without sex. 18 months and 6 days.
yeah,
And that turned around when Gordon told me he'd made an appointment to see a somatic sexologist. And I freaked out. I had no idea what that was and I was terrified. But I agreed to go along. And when we walked in the door there, she just sat us down and told us that nobody's been taught how a man and a woman should be together. We're not taught how to communicate, how to put across our wants and our desires, because we're taught girls don't do that. Girls don't say that. And you're easy if you say that or do that. And we're told it's creepy, but it's not. And she just taught us how to be honest with each other without being critical and nasty and just being open. And halfway through that session, I started to have hope for our marriage. And by the end of it, I realized that I still loved Gordon. And that night we went home and we made love for the first time. And
because on our 20th wedding anniversary, I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to spend another 20 years like what we've just spent. And really, because talk about alpha males, there was no real alpha male presence in all of my life. And but then I took up the alpha male. I thought I've got it. I took responsibility. I thought I haven't given even 50% towards our marriage. That's so bad.
Wow. So you recognize that.
Yeah, yeah.
Very shut off, very cautious. I knew he didn't fully have trust in me in our whole marriage. I could sense that.
What do you think that
And
was about? Not trusting you or trust in the marriage? What do you think about that?
I don't know whether it stemmed from his childhood, and his mother was very standoffish, not loving
Or touchy or huggy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just some kind of reservations around intimacy overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like I thought, well, marriage counseling's BS. Because all
Why
they
did
do
you
is
think
just
that? Why?
because all they do, Kim, is just go round and round in circles. No actions taken. No concrete steps. And it's just, and you're dragging up the past as well. It was tell me something about that I don't know that will fix my situation. That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
So, like I said, think outside the box. Just saying it's just inside here. I just believe that the universe is leading me. But I thought somatic sexology, if they're worth their weight, and I just typed in the search Google box, somatic sexologist or sexologist here in Adelaide, got in contact. She got back to us within the very next day. Because we came, see the mirrors here in the office here? We came here and we fucked for an hour and a half, and I didn't blow my load for an hour and a half until the hour and a half. And I thought, wow, that was just freaking amazing. We were just love watching each other and it's your suggestion too. It's fucking in the office in front of
So
them.
was this after your first session with the sexologist?
Yeah, after the first session.
Already something got ignited. You had hope.
Yeah.
You felt reconnected. You felt seen
Yeah.
to be able to be with each other. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know what? There was a point towards the end of our marriage when Gordon would look at me and I knew he wasn't seeing me. Like his eyes, I could feel he wasn't seeing me. And that broke my heart. We couldn't even put into words what had changed, what had happened to turn everything around 180 degrees. It was like, what happened? It was incredible.
Miraculous.
Yeah.
And then saw this tantric workshop, got in contact with the administrators. The administrators said that it's sold out. And I still didn't take no for an answer. So then I just wrote them our story. And the lady, Diane, who's the administrator, she took the story to her daughter and said, look, have a read of this. And the daughter said, Mum, you have to let them in. You have to let them in. So that's how we got in the door. And then I tell you what, that ran for 6 days. That was
It just changed our lives. It was incredible. I was terrified again because I didn't know what Tantra was, but I had all these strange ideas. And Diane said I looked like a scared rabbit, ready to run when I walked in the door.
And 3.5 hours later.
Yeah, I was just...
Tell her about the photo she wished she had.
Yeah, she wished she'd taken a photo when I walked in because she said I was bright, shining, open, happy. Yeah, just changed our lives. And opened my mind. You know, I didn't realize this about myself, but I was very close-minded, very narrow, and that just blew my mind open. I mean, it was just incredible, and that's just been an amazing journey.
You know, in that week, I fucked Catherine for 4 hours, twice in that week.
We had to stop because I was getting sore.
She tapped out.
That's pretty amazing. You guys going from, a decade or two of minimal sex and then being able to just right out of the gate go on these multi-hour sex date adventures. That's impressive.
Well, in the Tantra, Gordon was taught a breathing practice that allowed him to tamp down that
energy.
Yeah, and recycle it and just keep going. And that's amazing.
How to thrust, how to breathe. That I just felt strong as an ox. I could have gone for 8 hours if Catherine didn't tap out. That's how strong I was, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Just and also too, Kim, it was the first time I actually surrendered to anybody.
Yeah.
And that was what was
That was the
missing.
biggest thing, the surrender.
I surrendered to Catherine, and little did I know that it was that
allowed me
to be more feminine.
Yeah, and surrender open to Gordon.
And also too, like, this is amazing, Kim. I spent, I don't know, a long time, more than 3 hours, just on that tantric weekend, just being with Catherine's body. I felt that if I go any longer, she'd levitate.
I felt like I was going to.
I didn't know that she was feeling that.
My whole body was trembling, and I felt like if he keeps going, I'm going to leave the bed. It was incredible. And I wish in a way that he'd kept going to see what happened.
I got scared,
see if you were going to do it. Well, this is, the thing that happens, I think, in the deepest sexual encounters is we do touch these cosmic energies, right? Like when we're open, and the premise is behind, or at least one of them in Tantra and Taoist sexuality, is that we take that sexual energy and we move it up the system, from where it exists at a more base level, and leverage it and move it up into the crown and turn it into spiritual energy and life force energy. And so people, when they do that, they then often use terminology, spiritual terminology, or leaving the body, saw God, felt at one, all of these descriptions. And the big irony, right, is that there's such a massive effort to separate sex and spirituality as experiences in our world. That's just drummed into us everywhere all the time. And yet in the purest encounters, that's what this is. These are deeply spiritual, transcendent, cosmic, life-changing, rebirthing experiences that are of the highest spiritual nature when we have that purity and intention and really can tap into these energies.
Yeah.
Because the woman's a portal. The woman leads the guy to God. And did you know, in the tantric retreat, I went through actual physical spiritual portal. Then had my eyes open. It was like walking from one to the next. And I remember saying to her, sharing this with a mate of mine, and he said, "What was it like on the other side?" I said, "Forget what was on the other side. Just imagine the beauty just crossing from one realm to the other, and just seeing that barrier and just crossing it over. Oh, it's just like someone once famous said that if you can express with what you've experienced with your words, you have not lived." So, yeah.
Well, that's what poets are for.
Yeah.
Poets get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
It's the role of poets in society and culture, is to get a little bit closer than the average person. Yeah. So all that's fantastic. And then how did you find my work?
Also too, Kim, I must say that in the Tantric retreat, so you really hit home how a well-fucked couple should be. In Tantra, like in the first Tantra, we found a real deep love for each other that consumes us, but we weren't necessarily taught that this is what normality should be like. Like we'd have 3 hour, 2 hour sessions. The most we fucked was four times in a day, and minimum an hour.
That was before work, between shifts.
So how it came to you is because I felt a bit of a letdown, like because we have to stop because of work, and also too, Catherine puts in a lot into her job, and sometimes she comes home really exhausted, and then the sex was slowly started to taper, and then within myself, in my mind, I started to think, can I really get it up? I started to doubt my own abilities, and then I thought, I don't know, I'll go and see a doctor, but fell in for the allopathic way, and the doctor,
What do you mean? Hang on. So you were wondering whether you could get it up,
yes,
but were you having erectile issues?
no, not since that, no. It's just
But you
because
were worried that maybe.
because there was a time where it wasn't as frequent the sex either, was it?
No. Yeah.
And
he lost his confidence in his ability to get an erection and keep it.
But you were performing fine at the time.
Yeah. And then suddenly.
But what, did you just buy into some narrative that, oh, you're this age and this is what's coming for you?
Exactly. Yeah.
He was told at his age it's just normal,
Yeah, and even went to saw a urologist, and I just thought he was a lazy fucker. Like, just all he wanted to do, didn't. Just said, all your results are fine, just put you under the pills, which is Cialis daily 5 milligrams, and Viagra or Cialis 20 milligrams. Or
just because you're a certain age, not because there was an issue.
Yeah, exactly. And then also too, because the mastery of non-ejaculation, I've done that, and sometimes, like, I've even had a full body orgasm. Oh goodness! And I was in her too when I had that full body orgasm. I heard this sexologist talking about you, and she said how you lift weights with your. So I looked up and I saw photos of you, and I went in your website, and then unbeknownst to me, I was within a couple of days before you were going to close the SMM salon.
Ooh, right.
But what got me about SMM salon was because I wanted to get back the confidence. The other major thing was to master non-ejaculation, and when if I can get this down pat, I'll be right, And that's a couple of days I was in, Yeah, that's how we came.
Love it. Love the decisiveness about that.
Yeah, and the whole thing too about decisiveness there, Kim, because we went to the Tantric retreat a second time. Apart from myself, all the other participants, the women are the ones dragging the men into it. It's not the other way around. I feel very, very pleased with myself that I'm leading Catherine. I'm just taking the reins, and just even throughout the day I'll post something to try and get you to expand your mind a bit more.
He'll send me something at work. He'll say, "Oh, I can't read that here." A bit hot and flustered. When I was worshipping him the other morning, and he was doing his deep breathing, I watched his balls go in and out. It was like what is happening here? I stopped and I said, your ball's going in. This is the way it's
Ball breathing.
It was like a ballast, you know. It's incredible.
And there's a big with women that men don't make enough noise. I love making noise because
Yeah, I love that.
it helps regulate my system, regulates everything within me to keep going, and
How did your relationship with your cock change then? So yeah.
because I went cold turkey on all those medicines and it took about 8 weeks, but with my lingam, I'm circumcised and I have got feeling in there. And it wasn't until what you said, porn cuts you. I would have never heard this ever before until you said it, cuts your heart from your cock, right? And because I had abused it, I just started to be real nice to it.
What do you mean you'd abused it? What does that
In
mean
a
to you?
sense, masturbated a lot and just didn't give much thought to it, Didn't even know that it had its own brain. Didn't know any of that. And so I start just feeling it all over that, just play with it and
Love it.
and
Love it.
yeah, love it, and just continued love, and even last night I was just imagining it being really big, and I was just worshipping it and just loving it, and I imagined it a couple of more inches than what it is now, even to 8 inches, and I just physically just try and imagine it was that way, and just being erect and
Great. Okay. And then how about your relationship with your yoni, Kate? You had a numb yoni and you guys have been working a lot with yoni massage and lingam massage. And how did things shift for you?
Well, I've been using the jade egg and even this morning I was clenching one side and then the other, and I asked Gordon, "Can you feel that?" And when I was doing it, and he said, "Yeah." So I was thinking the other day, it's going to get to the stage where I can play the flute, and also I could feel his lingam in me. I could feel it when he was touching me, not just entering, but I could feel him in me. And I think that's the first time I've actually felt it because my vagina was so numb. And and yeah, that just blew my mind. It's like, wow, I can feel you. I just felt like my yoni was embracing his cock. It was amazing. I could just feel it all.
Feel it touch the cervix.
Yeah, because Gordon said sometimes when he enters, he feels like he's entering a cavern, like it's a big wide cavern. But this time, I felt like the inside of me was embracing him.
And the other thing happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago. She came when I was in her twice, and it just felt so wonderful to hold that space for her, and just because I could feel the walls just clamping, on my lingam, and it was just beautiful, I just yeah.
That was amazing. That's helped me. I guess emotionally, and I just feel lighter and more open because I I forgave myself, I forgave my mum, my father, Gordon. I grew up in I had a very abusive father, typical religious background, and so I had a lot to release, and doing that was just it I think it helped me to open up even more to Gordon, forgiving him for the hurts and everything throughout our marriage. And yeah, it's just been incredible. It's really amazing stuff.
And even this morning, the talk came about how I was just after our lovemaking, I was massaging her yoni and
Yeah,
how
there was a sore spot, and I said, just hold it there, hold it until the, the soreness went.
and she said, I think it's cleared.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Fabulous.
That's just being present and being aware, I think.
It's great to see where you are in your journey, and so impressive to be at your stage of life and do this complete 180 turnaround and elevation.
because I realised that we're very rare, and most of my friends, other people that we know, they just think, oh, they don't believe it for themselves. So
Yeah,
I think you're lucky,
yeah, they don't believe that it can happen to them.
and you've just got to put that work in and just be the alpha lead. That's what that's how I wholeheartedly believe. It's just because I was able to lead that, and then surrendering.
Yeah, because I was ready to walk.
Then surrendering at Tantra, and we both healed each other as well, and still are.
Yeah.
So I'm curious though, like for you, Kate, was it when you said you were ready to walk, like, because it sounds like both of you very quickly were ready for this, right? Like so many people, there's so much years of buildup and unresolved stuff that even the idea of changing and trying to open up enough to move forward is too much. So when you talk about your friends or whatever, it's like, I think the overwhelm gets to them. Like it just seems like so much. Yet both of you seemed really able to just switch on at least enough to move forward. I always say that the only acceptable answer to a question in a relationship is fuck yes. Like, let's do this.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
And you both seem to have that, even though you had, decade plus of blockages.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because I didn't think about it. I didn't go over it in my mind. I didn't think about all the hurts, the betrayal, the resentments, the pain. I didn't think of any of that. I just looked forward to see what this could do for us. And even, by the end of our first sexologist appointment, I couldn't remember some of those hurts, those resentments. I couldn't remember what it was that Gordon had done that had hurt me so much. And I think having just let that go allowed me to move forward. Yeah. And I think maybe a lot of people just hang on to that. But to move forward, you've got to let it go. That's the only way I can explain it.
And if we look back in our lives, the little signposts that we still loved each other throughout the journey.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of.
Gordon, you mentioned the alpha energy idea and you were able to lead through this. Kate, do you think that was part of it too? That
Oh, definitely.
he took the initiative?
Yeah. If he hadn't have done that, I would have left. There's no doubt. The only reason I hadn't gone at that point was, get this, is because I had signed the lease just a month earlier. And I thought, why did I do that? If I hadn't signed it, I could go. But because I was legally bound to stay for another 12 months, that was my thinking. I thought, okay, I'm stuck for this moment. And then the following month, he came up with the somatic sexologist. Well, that just changed everything. And it everything just fell into place. But if I hadn't have signed that lease, if that lease hadn't come up, we wouldn't be together now. Yeah, and I'm so glad it did. I mean, we are
more in love than when we were 24 years ago.
Yeah, and we are, what did I say, 4 years reawakened. Yeah, so we were 20 years asleep, 4 years reawakened.
Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you guys for sharing all of this.
Yeah, it's just a real,
Thank you.
real privilege, to have you guide us. You were instrumental as well.
Yeah.
And now, we just
Leading the way, showing our friends that it's possible, and showing our children. Yeah.
And that was the first thing they noticed, wasn't it? After.
Oh yeah, they noticed because they were saying, "Divorce him, Mum, divorce him." Yeah, yep. And our children were miserable because I was miserable, and they noticed the change straight away, and they changed. They became happier, calmer,
more confident.
Yeah, and our relationship has affected them in ways we didn't realize. It's amazing. It's incredible to witness. And
how old are they?
One's 20 and 22. They were what, 17, 16 and 18 then.
Yeah.
And for years, the youngest had been saying divorce, divorce, divorce. And she hated her father, and because of the way he treated me. And now, their relationship with their father has turned around as well.
And that's what gets me is the violence towards the feminine. It's just shocking, and it hurts me that I treated Catherine that way, and that was part of me taking responsibility that I hadn't really shown her. And she deserves it. She deserves everything that I can throw at her. that I haven't, up to that stage. And
he was never physical with me, but the verbal and emotional abuse was certainly there.
Yeah.
It's interesting what you say about the children, because I talk about that a lot, that the children are a reflection of the coherence within the couple. And there's this old idea of staying together for the children, which I've never supported, because the children feel everything. They are this immediate holographic reflection. And even like some things might be more obvious to them, right? Behaviors that they witness. But even if they don't see things, they feel it. They are totally by osmosis absorbing every little shift that's taking place, and they know it. And then I think it's worse sometimes when they don't see it so obviously, because it's like a form of gaslighting, right? Where they can feel the reality, but they're not seeing it. So they're kind of confused by it. And then to hear what you said, that when you began to shift, you could actually see the difference in them. Even the idea that they would have more confidence, right? Because your connection, the strength of that bond is what gives them strength and fuel.
And it gives them security.
People don't. Yes, completely. Yeah, the better sex a couple is having, the more secure and confident their children will be. And that might seem like a strange or, can we even think that? Like, yeah, actually we can, because they know that their parents are in tune with each other, right? That relationship is solid. If they're having great sex, they're solid as a couple. But it's also beyond that. It's an energetic strength that the couple is now as the nucleus of the cell, that they're projecting out into every other life form around them, especially more than anything, their children. And the children are then fully nourished strengthened, supported by all of that. And then the opposite happens when that's not there. It's like the rug being ripped out from under them and falling in space. And so I see that correlation all the time when the parents are not in sync. And that's when children are acting out. That's when all kinds of behaviors come up. And then immediately when the parents are in sync, the children are living such a more balanced and harmonious life.
Yeah, definitely. And I had to say that at work this week, I was leading with my boobs. And
tell me about that.
Yeah. I thought, yep, back straight. Actually, when you put your chest out, your back goes straight automatically. So you're walking upright. And I was aware of that.
What did you notice through that?
Just a confidence, and I just felt good. Whether anybody else was aware or not, doesn't matter, but I was. And yeah. And I've got a friend at work, she asked me last week, oh, how was your weekend? And I said, oh, it was really good, because we have quite regular sex. And she said, oh, of course, because she say, oh, we had a quickie before I came to work this morning. She said, oh, yeah, of course you did.
So is she saying that like she knows you have a lot of sex and she's kind of teasing you?
Yeah, I've told her stuff and try to, point her in the right direction and encourage her. But yeah, she can see how good it is, for us, for me. And I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Last weekend was amazing, wasn't it? Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I need to be well fucked.
More anal,
Yeah, I love that.
But Catherine reckons that it should be prescribed for all women to have the asshole massaged regularly.
Oh yeah.
But even like
he could open a business doing a perennial massage. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I've had anal orgasms and they are incredible. Absolutely awesome. Beautiful.
How do you feel after you've had the anal orgasm?
Oh,
when you go out into the
just
world?
Like I could float, like I could float. It's just like, wow, who knew? Who knew that you could orgasm via your anus?
You can find God up there.
Yeah. Exactly. Too right. Yeah. Exactly.
I can look at people and see, oh, they need their ass fucked.
It's one of my favorite things that happens with well-fucked couples is now they have this language and barometer when they go out into the world. Something happens, they have an encounter, they see someone who's grumpy and they're like, oh, underfucked. Well-fucked.
It opens your eyes, doesn't it, to what is going on.
Yeah, and we feel so privileged and so lucky, and that not only that we're going on this journey, but that we survived 20 years of crap to get here. We survived, and it really is mind-blowing that we have. It's incredible because lots of people would have given up way sooner.
Agreed. Yeah. And might not even make that turnaround. Like I said, I think you had a very fast turnaround and a lot of obvious willingness to do that and go for it and put in the work and play.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But I think surrender is a big part for me.
And surrender isn't about giving up. It's about opening. And I think when you say surrender to men, sometimes I think they have that, giving up, like
The white flag.
yeah, but it's not that at all. Let
It's
go of
dropping
being-
your guard, right?
Yeah,
It's like what sounds like you've both been quite good at is that you're dropping your guard, you're opening up, you're letting yourself be vulnerable.
That's it. You're
And
being vulnerable.
it's the only thing that's going to be the catalyst for any kind of transformative sex, healing sex, rejuvenative, life-changing sex. The only thing that's going to move the needle to get it there is that surrender and letting someone into you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And being vulnerable and letting go of control. That's it. Just letting go, being vulnerable, being open, because there's something very sexy about a man who is vulnerable. It just I think it makes you feel more feminine. And
that's what blew me out was little did I know that Catherine found it hot as. I just thought, wow.
yeah, because for 20 years he'd had his guard up.
It's where all the magic is, right? Like that's what happens.
Yeah, just the fact too, Kim's out in June of this year, we turning 64. And so much of my married life should have been golden, but it wasn't. And I'm thinking, in the natural mind, most men think they're coming towards the twilight years. Not me.
No.
I want to keep on going. That's why I'm so hungry, so thirsty for this stuff, and just why I love doing what I do, just to keep it going, and because
Fucking until the day.
that's right.
What to take from this story? The first is that dramatic change is possible at any age and every stage. This is the Anami guarantee. People come into my work in their late teens all the way through their 80s. And look, it is amazing to find and practice these ideas from the start. Obviously, that not many people do. It takes most people some meandering around before they finally stumble into Anami land. The reason I connect you with our well-fucked all-stars is to show you that if they can do it, you can do it. These things are possible for everyone, no matter where they are in terms of their own chronological age or the age and build-up of their relationship. And the second is that your power lies in all in, not 50% or 80% or 95%, but fuck yes, I am all the fuck in. Fuck yes is an art form. Your heart, your genitals, you lay it all on the line. The deepest transformation happens here in this vulnerability, and it's the only place where it can happen. So if you've got fuck yes and openness, all things are possible. On that note, the Coming Together for Couples Salon is open. 10 weeks to gourmet, life-changing sex. In my online signature program for creating conscious relationships and quantum sex, you will learn how to have multiple full body and energy orgasms, sexual reflexology of the yoni and lingam, my prescription guide for different sexual positions to heal various ailments. Yes, you can heal thyself with your cock and pussy. Tantric and Taoist techniques to harness your sexual energy and use it for healing, rejuvenation, creative genius, and of course, a plethora of orgasmic pleasure. Supercock stamina techniques for men, amplifying masculine and feminine polarity to increase your chemistry and attraction, where you go from buddies to headboard slammers, and all of my secrets for coming together. To sign up, go to kimanami.com/lovers. The salon begins next week on April the 16th. Gordon and Kate also mentioned a Tantra retreat they went to that was pivotal in their growth. As you probably know, I am all about extended sex dates. I recommend that couples have weekly, minimum 3-hour sex dates. Yes, 3 hours of sexual play in one session. And then ideally a sex weekend every month or every few months, and then a full-on sex week away every year. Having uninterrupted time and space to really go deep with each other fuels and quantum leaps you in ways you can't even imagine. We are bringing back our Anami multi-day sex retreats onto the calendar this year. To get on the waitlist and to be the first to know when the dates and tropical locations are announced, go to kimanami.com/retreats. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and send somebody else the gift of a multi-orgasmic and transformational love life by sharing this episode with them. If you'd like to go deeper into all things orgasms, sign up for my free Orgasmopedia series, where you'll learn about 9 different types of orgasms everyone can have. Go to kimanami.com and you'll see the sign up there. Come one, come all.